Hello and welcome back to art class. Today we're going to be working on something you actually probably know a little bit about. We're going to deal with foreground, middle ground, and background. And we're also going to be working with warm and cool colors. Both of those you should have some a little bit of experience with, and so it won't seem totally new to you. You are going to need a few materials. You're going to need a white piece of paper. You're going to need a eraser, you're going to need a pencil, and you're going to need a set of colored pencil or colored crayons. Then let's get started. Okay, first thing I want you to do is take a piece of paper and you're going to fold it in half like a book and just lightly press down on here. We don't need a hard crease, we just need a light one, because really all I want is to be able to figure out where the middle of the paper is. I'm going to smooth it out a little bit. My line is right there. And now we're going to go on to the pencil. So our picture is going to be a landscape. And normally the landscapes actually go like this. But because of all the different items in our landscape, it'll fit better going up and down. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the foreground, the ground that is closest to us. But in our picture is actually going to be water. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a line. It's actually just a simple wavy line. We're going to be, well, just a little bit above the bottom here. And we only want a slight wave to it. We don't want a lot. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use a second line for our water, and this one's going to have an actual wave to it, like a crashing wave. So it's going to be kind of like a C. These are all basically C's. All right, so that's our water. This is what's closest to us. So in our picture, we're out on a boat looking back at the land. All right, next we're going to add in a little bit of a hill for some ground. Then I need a ground that's a little bit further away before we get to our mountains. We're going to be making some mountains. So right about where this fold is where I want my line here. And I'm not going to make it perfectly straight. It's actually got a little bit of a wobble to it. Okay. And then now I'm going to add in my mountains. My mountains are not going to go all the way to the top because I want to do a really cool sunset. And so we want our mountains to be in the background, and they're going to be maybe about halfway up what's left of the paper. I'm going to put two, one on this side, and then one on this side. And then one is going to go in the back. It's going to be a little bit shorter because it's off in the distance. So it's going to be a little bit shorter. Okay, so 3 mountains total. I also would like to put a little bit of snow. So I'm going to use a zigzag line to put some snow at the top of my mountain. All right, so our foreground, our middle ground is done, and now a good chunk of our background is done. The last piece of the background is going to be our sunset. Our sunset is going to be pretty easy. It's going to be based off of a circle, and I'm going to have the sun going behind the mountains. And I need to do a few more lines because we're going to have some multiple colors for our sunset. So we're going to put, and I'm using about a thumb space or so away, and it's going to be curved just like the sun is curved. So that's 1, 2. Now notice I'm going around. Now this next one's going to start off the page here. 2, 3, 4. I got room for one more. I don't have any more room over there. Okay. Looking good. Okay, next, this is where your crayons come in. So we want to, now that we have our foreground, our middle ground, and our background completed, now we're going to start the coloring process. Our coloring process is going to have the warm colors and the cool colors separate. So we're going to use cool colors for the ground, okay, and then warm colors for the sky. All right, so our cool colors, if you remember back, they're going to be greens, blues, and purples. So for our water, we typically go with blue. So I want you to go in and find all of your blues. Anything that looks like a blue. Okay, so right now I have several blues here. They're of quite a bit of variety. I have a blue-green here. I have a blue-violet. This is just regular blue. This one's called a cerulean blue, kind of a sky blue color. And then we have indigo, which is kind of a blue-purplish color as well. I am going to choose two, because I have two sections of water to color. So I'm going to choose the blue-green. And I think I'm just going to choose regular blue. That's pretty easy. And I'll just put the other three back in the box. All right, so coloring wise, it's pretty easy. You're going to outline first, just like you would normally, and then you fill it in. So that's my first layer. That's a blue-green color. Now I'm going to use the blue. All right. Next. All right, so we're going to deal with the land now. The land is going to be these two sections. And we're going to use green for that, so I need you to find all your different kinds of greens out of your box. Okay, so I have four different kinds of greens in my box. I have regular green, I have yellow green, I have a really light yellow green, and then I have the blue green, which I already used for the water, so that one's going to get put away. All right, so I have two slots. I am going to use just regular yellow green and regular green, and then I'm going to put this lighter one away. Foreground done. I have my middle ground, and now we're going to start with the background. And in our background is going to be the mountains. And our mountains, remember we're working with cool colors, so the last script with cool colors we're going to work with are the purples. So I need you to find all your purples. Okay, so I have kind of four violets or purples. I have my regular violet purple, that's the one you're used to. I have a blue violet. Then I have two kind of red violets. I have the actual red violet, and then I have one that actually has more red in it, the red violet this way. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the blue violet and the violet. I'm going to put these other two off in the back of the box there. Now the way I'm going to work this is, I know we have three mountains. What I want is the front two mountains to match, and then the third mountain will be the other one. So now we're on to our sky. Now in my pack I have, we're going to do with the warm colors now. And since the sun is yellow, that's where I'm going to start. So I have 2 yellows in my pack. Technically, I have a 3rd yellow. This is actually a green yellow, but it's got green in it, and it will show up as green, and green doesn't look normal in the sky, so I'm not going to use it. So I have regular yellow, and I have a dandelion yellow. Some packs may only have 1 yellow, so if you only have 1, then that's what you're stuck with. I'm going to use the brighter of the 2 as the actual sun. Then I'm going to use the other one, which is a little bit darker, is my next one. Alright, so my next set of warm colors is going to be in the oranges, so let me pull out my oranges. Okay. I have 4 oranges, and one of them is called red orange, one of them is called yellow orange, which I guess could technically be a yellow, but it's got so much orange in it, it just doesn't make sense. Then I have regular orange, and then I have scarlet, which is really close to a red, so I'm just going to kind of put that one off to the side, and then I'm going to choose from these. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with yellow orange and the red orange. I'm going to do that. That's how I'm going to do it today. So I'm going to go with the lighter one, so that'll be yellow orange. Lighter one first, that way it kind of looks like it's getting darker out away from the sun. Alright, so now my next group of colors would be my reds. So I'm going to pull out all my reds. Technically red-orange would be a red, but since I've already used it, I can put that off to the side. The scarlet is another kind of red-orange, and I'm actually going to go with that and regular red to start off with. These other 2 are the red violets. I'm just going to set those off to the side. I'm going to start with my scarlet and then red. Whichever one's lighter is the one I'm going to do first. And 1 spot left, and I'm going to do another red. One that is often forgotten that is actually red is pink. I'm going to do that for my last one. I know pink is actually a little bit lighter than regular red. It's actually light red, but because I only have a small area, I think it's just going to be kind of fun to do that red right there. If you have a spot left over, you can fill it in with other kinds of reds as well to fill in your last couple spaces. Alright, so once you have this one done, I need you to take a photo of it, upload it to Seesaw for me, and I will see you next week.